don't know if I can ever forgive myself for what I have done, for what I have become, the people I have let down, every decision I made, every lie I told myself to keep going, even though they're gone. I keep telling myself it's not too late. Maybe, just maybe, there's still a way to make it right.
It's been nearly a decade since the release of Dying Light and we still don't know what happened to the people of Harran. The fates of Brecken, Ezgi, Lena and countless other survivors remain a mystery, or have we overlooked something? Well, in this video we're going to be looking at every source, every piece of information from Dying Light and Dying Light 2 to find out what actually happened to them. So my friends, let's begin, and yeah, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. Yes, I'm talking to the 80% of you who have not yet subscribed, and trust me when I say this, it might be a small thing for you, but for me it means everything. So please spread some love. Now the first thing we're going to be talking about will be some of the last interactions Crane has had with these characters, because only then we can know what actually happened to them. Starting with Brecken, an ex-parkour instructor and the leader of the tower who came to Harran seeking a better life opportunity. But because of the Harran outbreak, he was left trapped in the city with no way to go out. So Brecken utilized his parkour skills and even taught many survivors the different parkour skills, which eventually led to formation of a group called the Runners. Basically, they were responsible for a lot of things at the tower, but mainly for bringing back supplies to the tower. But sadly, during one of the missions when going after the airdrop, the group was ambushed by the zombies and eventually only Brecken made it out. And yes, if you've seen this run-by-run trailer, then you know which mission I'm talking about. Now this was a quick introduction to Brecken. Also, the last time we ever saw Brecken was near the ferry station. By the way, this happened after the pit mission when Kyle Crane was exhausted and having seizures because of the infection. So when Crane went unconscious, Brecken was the one who picked him up and brought him to the ferry station, where we spoke with Brecken and found out that Jade has volunteered to transport Dr. Zed's research to Dr. Camden in Old Town. So Crane, being a simp, left for Old Town to find Jade. And to travel to Old Town, Crane was suggested by Brecken to meet a group called the Saviors, who basically were a smuggling group. Yes, the same smuggling group that later would betray Crane, and that would be the last time we speak to Brecken when Crane informs him about this betrayal.
Brecken, do you copy? Crane here.
What's going on, mate?
Tell everyone to stay away from the Saviors. They sold me out to Rice. I barely made it out alive.
Shit. I hope you're okay. Be sure to contact Troy when you get to Sector 0. She's the only friendly face you have over there.
Got it, will do.
So the big question is, where did Brecken go after this? Well, firstly, what you need to know is that Brecken was really shattered because of numerous deaths in the tower, including some close ones like Rahim and the whole Runner group. In fact, later when we lost all the transmissions regarding the airdrop, Brecken literally lost all hope. And this, my friends, is when Brecken decided to leave Harran, but since Harran was quarantined, Brecken could only leave with the help of the barge. Yes, the same barge that we saw earlier docked in the ferry station. Also, what's crazy is that the barge and Brecken both disappeared right after Crane left for Old Town. But what many of you would not know is that both Brecken and Spike, along with many other survivors, were on that barge. And that barge, my friends, was first heading for the Old Town, and then it was leaving Harran. So that's the reason why we see Spike first in slums, and then on the ferry station, and then in Old Town. But Brecken, my friends, had never left the barge as he wanted to leave Harran, and honestly what happened afterwards remained a secret until the following DLC came out. But before that, there was a very strong theory many people shared for years, saying he died on that barge because according to the game lore, the Harran Navy was literally taking down any ship, a boat or a person that was trying to leave Harran. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's a very good possibility that Brecken was killed in action. But hold on for a second, because in the following DLC there is a post office mission where you deliver some letters to the survivors, and during that you come across a letter that was written by someone with the initials B. But the stuff that's written in the letter not only implies that Brecken is alive, but also shows how betrayed he felt because of the false hope Crane gave people. So here's an audio clip I made using the AI that would read the letter in Brecken's voice.
To whoever finds this, I'm still alive, but already dead inside. They already devoured my soul. Soon they will make feast of my body. My mind now is only a faint, dying light. Crane gave others false hopes. I didn't go. There was no point whatsoever.
So Brecken is saying he's alive but dead inside, meaning he has no incentive to live, and blames Crane for giving people false hope. This actually confirms that he is alive, and if Techland wants, Brecken can very well return in the future DLC or any future Dying Light game. But for now, we know he is hiding somewhere, and that would explain why no one has any idea about the whereabouts of Brecken. I think that's the reason why Spike has put this missing posters of Brecken in Dying Light 2 on the walls of Bazaar. But my friends, if you look closely, he is not the only one that's missing. Because right here on the wall, you will also find a missing poster of Ezgi, who is the girl from the following DLC. Along with her, you will also find Lena, the doctor from Dying Light 1, who is also the love interest of Brecken. Now, the big question, how are these two people missing and what actually happened to them? Well, for starters, Ezgi during one of the missions tried to leave the countryside with a friend of hers named Dara. During the mission, they were actually planning on leaving for Harran through an old tunnel, reason because Ezgi did not like her father controlling her. She basically wanted to live freely and make her own decisions in a zombie apocalypse. But hey, Crane finds out about her intentions and speaks to her, explaining how dangerous the world out there is. He also tried explaining her how Harran is just as bad as the countryside. Still, they were able to convince Crane into helping them reach Harran. And after that, Crane told them that he would be first checking the tunnels to make sure it's safe, and also told them not to leave until he says so. After this, Crane clears the volatiles from the tunnels and makes it safer for traveling. Then he informs Ezgi about it, after which Ezgi and Dana both leave for Harran using that old tunnel. But then something happened. Dana suddenly turned into a viral, implying that she has been bitten way before entering the tunnel. And you all know how this ends. Crane had to kill Dana. After which Crane helped Ezgi leave for Harran and told her that he will contact Troy from the old town to look after her. But instead, Crane actually contacts Lena and tells her about Ezgi, that she will be coming out of the southern old town tunnel, and asked her to inform Troy about it.
Listen, there's a hidden tunnel. I think it opens up in southern Old Town. There'll be a girl passing through it soon. Could you ask Troy to keep a lookout for her?
Crane, that's not why you're there. We're losing people here.
I know, and I'm getting closer. Just help this girl, okay? Her name is Ezgi.
All right, but please, Kyle, find a way to help us.
And that, my friends, is exactly what happened, as hours later you get a call from Ezgi saying she made it and even found Troy. But then there was a moment when Ezgi was trying to say something, but the connection was lost.
Kyle! Kyle, are you there? Damn, I can barely hear you. But listen, I made it. I found Troy. Thank you, Kyle. She told me about the...
So, we know one thing, she is alive and safely went to the towers. Yes, I know she went to the towers because Crane says the same thing to Jasir. Now, I'm gonna be talking about Lena because the fate of both Ezgi and Lena are somehow connected. See, during the whole time when Kyle Crane was in countryside, the tower was not protected by anyone. And no, I'm not just talking about the protection from the zombies, but also Rye's men. Because after the death of Rye, his men went completely insane and started hunting people and even raiding shelters. So because of this whole chaos, Spike and Crane decided to escort people out of Harran and to find a better place to live. So Spike, along with other survivors, live through the sewers, during which we also see the tower on fire. And this actually explains that the tower was raided by Rye's men. But since Crane, Lena and few other survivors decided to stay in Harran, they had to fight off Rye's men and even the zombies that were now taking up most of the floors in the tower. By the way, we also know that Crane never left during this chaos. He only left for the countryside when the tower was safer and the Rye's men were no longer a problem. But hey, the zombies were still a big problem here because the tower had lost a lot of floors during this chaos, and when Crane was in the countryside looking for a cure, Lena used to call Crane asking about the cure and even informing about the number of floors the tower has lost. And my friends, just like that, every time she used to call, the situation in the tower kept getting worse. Plus, during this time, Ezgi was sent to Harran, who later met Troy, and then with his help, she decided to go to the tower. Yes, the same tower where the situation was getting worse. And when Lena found out that Ezgi was being brought here, she tells Crane we are already losing people in the tower. Basically saying we have no antigen, no cure, no supplies, and we are losing the floors to the zombies. And at the end, with every call, the situation became so bad that the last two calls of Lena was literally her saying that the infected are breaking into the final floor, please hurry up. And after that, we got another radio call where she said, it's too late, Crane, but you can still save others.
Kyle, can you hear me? Kyle, please, if you can hear me, you have to hurry. We're going to lose another floor soon.
Meaning it looks like Lena and all the other survivors are left in the tower died. They basically got ambushed by the zombies and there was no one to protect them. A true sad ending for Lena. But hey, for Ezgi, there's still a chance that she could be alive because if she never reached the tower, then she could always be alive. But also, if she did reach the tower, then she would have the same fate as Lena. Now while this was going on, Spike along with few other survivors reached Waleedoo, and there after spending few years, Spike actually left some missing posters on the wall of Bazaar. So out of all, it looks like Brecken, Ezgi and the twin brothers are all alive. And sadly, the only person that is not alive here is Lena. Unless Techland decided to come up with a story where she somehow survives or gets saved by someone. I mean, Techland can do anything. If they can change the timelines, then why not this? Also in Dying Light 2, we saw a few newspapers talking about Harran and how some people are still trapped in there. Also, this was 5 years after Dying Light 1, basically in 2020. And yeah, the tower was destroyed by then. So this is what happened to the people of Harran. Let me know in comments your thoughts on this really sad story, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, good night and good luck.